Hello and welcome to this Crystallize live stream. Today we will focus on topic maps, and I have with me, as usual, Vasil, which is lead frontend here at Crystallize.
Hi everyone, very on board today.
And before we get started, so in Crystallize we use topic maps basically to define a very semantic taxonomy, so a very descriptive way of labeling a hierarchical set of information, so to speak. You do have multiple dimensions that we will dive into, and you can use them to associate topics to any product or content item in general in Crystallize, including images or assets. So it's kind of covering different types of data that you're managing in Crystallize. Let's dive into some examples.
Yeah.
I have here on the screen a Crystallize tenant, which is focusing on coffee. So, and here is one topic map, which is basically classification of different types of coffee beans. So you could say that is one dimension, right? You have the Arabica coffee, and then you can have two varieties of that, like Geisha and Typica. And when we're talking about multiple dimensions, we're talking about, let's say, you could have origin. Is it a Colombian coffee bean, or is it from Java, for example? And you can also dive into another dimension like flavor, which is kind of specific to coffee. And this is a part of what is described as a tasting wheel in coffee, where you have different facets of taste, and you can go more or less fine grained with that. So you can have a fruity flavor, you can have a citrusy flavor, and below that you can see, is the citrusy fruity flavor, is it a lime or lemon? So kind of very much describing the taste profile. And other dimensions here could be like brewing method or roast level, right? So this is not to be seen as let's say product categories, where yes, you can kind of use it for that, like you have different types of if it's clothes and shoes and things like that. But in Crystallize you would rather use hierarchical folders for that, because topics, they just have a label in a hierarchy. You can translate them to multiple languages, but it's just the label information that you are looking for, just a definition of the topic. And let's do an example. If we go to a product category here in Crystallize, so coffee, obviously. Here we have a bunch of products, and we can dive into, let's take the Kenyan coffee here. And when you have a product in Crystallize, you are able to, of course, enrich it with all the good stuff. We talked a lot on images and components and things like that to tell the product story. But you're also able to assign topics here. So you can say that this is from Colombia, for example, which it's not, because it said Kenya. So that's an error, but that's a human error. And you can say that it's medium roast level, things like this, so that you can really describe the products in a different way than you add a component which is more, let's say, telling the story about it. What you would use the topics for is more building navigational structures in addition to the main navigation.
Maybe, yeah, classification also.
Yeah. So that's it, how you add it to a product. Of course, you're also able to view this in the nerdy view, where you will be able to, let's say, take all of these guys and say, I would like to add a topic which is, let's say, it's Arabica, just a coffee bean, and maybe, let's say it's
we can describe
the taste. Let's say all of them have a lemony.
Yeah.
Which is just an example. But here we're talking about the type of bean, the type of roast, and the type of taste, right?
Yeah.
So it's different dimensions. So that's an example of how you can, first of all, create different topic maps for different dimensions, and that you can assign topics to a product.
Mm-hmm.
But products are I mean, kind of core to process, but I also mentioned assets, right? So if we're talking about more in this direction, Vasil, what does topics have to offer then in a different context?
Yeah. So as you said, Bort, like once we create the topic map, we have the topics, and we can attach the topic item. We can actually attach the same topics to assets, where we can use the topics for many different reasons. But like, for example, we can classify it, what kind of assets it is, and so we can work with it easily. So I know that a lot of people like coffee. That I won't argue, but I'm sure that also a lot of people like beautiful cars, right? So how about looking at some cars here on my screen? As you can see here, I'm looking at the asset organizer that we have in Crystallize. And so on my screen, I have a bunch of images which are different models of Porsche. So let's start first by trying to filter the images by using topics. So let's say that I want to see just the Cayman 718 model. So when I look at it, when I select it, now the filters immediately applies. It kind of didn't see much, but let's say that I want to just take a look on the yellow cars, right? So I will write here yellow. And when we select that, we just pick the yellow, the images which have the topic yellow, like racing yellow in this case, more specific. And from here, we can take it even further. We can say, I want to see just the 3/4 front part. And then we just have one image, right? So we can even like go deeper into the structure of how we classify things. So,
and this is kind of so you're using this to, in the first case, just really organize your assets, right? So that you give them a lot of different semantic meaning.
Yeah. And then let's take a look on a single asset. For example, I'll take this Cayman dashboard here that we have. And when we look at the asset, we see that the topics that are already attached to it. And from here, we can even go and attach different, like interior in this case, because this is really the interior of the car, right? So we can take this classification even further. Something else here to see also, like while we are looking at the assets, right? We can see other assets which are having the same topic, and they're over here at the bottom. So because our asset currently has the Ruby Star Neon topic, then we can see other similar assets. And then this is the Cayman, and then the dashboard. And if you want to get this to get this specific filter, we can just click over here, and then you'll see all the assets which are having this topic pre-selected.
And of course, what you're doing now, all of this, needless to say, is something you can use in the APIs to fetch assets, right? So
Yes.
this is both organizing your assets, but you can really use this to build great storefront experiences also.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe now let me show you also how we can have this loose connection between item and assets, because what we are looking at right now is like strictly specific about assets. But let's go into the context of an item, right? Here I have a Cayman on my screen, and one way that we can work with images in the catalog here is by navigating here to the asset sidebar. So here we are loading the assets that we have in our asset organizer, but also we can filter here by topics. So this is the same here. I can say yellow and then just get the racing yellow cars.
Exactly.
So yeah, so from here now we have the assets which are on one side with topics, and then we have the items on a different side with topics, and then we can have this the loose connection between them.
Which basically means that you don't have to, let's say, upload all of the images to the actual product in this case, because it might be 1,000 Cayman images if you have a big database, right? And they can have different classifications for colors, for scenery, for position of camera and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so that's nice. And also a point here is that if you're taking a new photo and it's of a Cayman, so long as you tag it, then you're able to loosely associate it, and it will pop up in the navigator when you're browsing for, let's say, racing yellow Cayman. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I have an example. So this here is Swift, is a Swedish furniture brand built by one of our partners, Zeta. Shout out to Martin and team. This is, I think, it's a brilliant example of. First of all, it's it's a configurator. So similar to what you can imagine with Vasil showing a car configurator. This is a furniture configurator where you're able to choose, for example, different fabrics. And here you're talking about like millions of combinations, and they have a lot of images. And once you've configured a product, they will give you the exact matches. So products that are actually using that colored fabric in this configuration. So that's nice. And these are loosely coupled, meaning that they maintain a well-organized asset database, and they have very structured products with base models and fabrics and fit and finishes, so to speak. And in addition, what I think is quite interesting, what they do, is that they're able to they show a lot of assets. So they take a lot of photos of the products in different contexts. And here you always will be able to choose, okay, do I want to see more of this
Exactly.
model of couch? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and here you see it's different types of fabrics.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can also go in and say, okay, I want to see this exact configuration of this product, but still maybe with different fabrics. Or you can even say, I just want to see that fabric. And maybe they even show the fabric on a different model altogether, right? So this is obviously a different product, but it's using the same fabric. So it's a good way of, especially when you have highly configurable products. Let's try something else. Just take, I don't know, yellow.
Yeah.
I zoomed in a lot here. So I want a yellow version of this. It might be that they don't have that particular configuration of the couch with a good photo. So that's not popping up here because it's not a popular choice. And then you're able to basically get different images of different products. And actually on this product was not the best example. Maybe let me show another one. We can browse some products here, right? So what I wanted to show was an example where they have done, let's say this is a popular product, I think, and I choose this yellow. Still want to have a yellow version of it. So pops to a 3D view. And here they don't have a particular image of exactly that configuration. But what they do have is the possibility of, since there are other products with this particular fabric, so it shows up. And and that kind of gives you not the feel, but the look in a real context, because here you can see how the fabric really is in different environments. So I think this is a brilliant example of, and especially with configurable or advanced products. And here we can do the same, switch to just a couch or couch in that particular configuration. So gives you a lot of options to loosely couple and build really, I would say, quite rich and enjoyable browsing experiences.
Yeah. So to confirm, Bart, so like all of this configuration between different configuration of the couches and the different images are built using topic maps.
Exactly.
The loose connection there.
Yeah. So and because it's so many combinations, right? So and since they have like hundreds of fabrics, they don't take necessarily all the product photos for all the configurations. But so long as you're able to find maybe even a quite similar product, like a similar couch with the same fabric, you get the feel. How does the light shine on it, and is it fine or coarse in the patterns and things like that. So I think this is an example of a really, really good experience for such a advanced product, I would say.
Yeah.
So that's basically the round trip of what I wanted to show with topic maps. We've just scratched the surface. Oh, one more thing I forgot, actually.
Maybe more instances, maybe you can show how the topic maps can be used.
Yeah. I forgot. Thanks for that. Because basically, yes, you can use it for simple navigation, but you typically use other concepts for that in Crystallize, like we call it folders for product categories, things like that. So I would see more things like, okay, I want to see products that are for outdoors, or new arrivals, for example, or
which appear in different folders in your catalog structure, right? They can appear in different folders because they're different categories. They have something in common, which is that they're outdoor. Yeah, makes sense.
You can use it for simple labeling. This is an eco-friendly, vegan, living room friendly product in this case. So, or it could be like marking what's on 342 promotions, right? So, which are typically things you wouldn't use folders for, and that's not what product categories are ideal for. So it gives you a lot of possibility, especially when it's very structured. Gives you a lot of information that you can assign to products, to images, to marketing content, and then you can cross-reference and show relevant products or relevant images, things like this. So give it a go. It's basically just up to the imagination of the type of customer experience you can build on top of this. And it gives you a very structured foundation. And as I said, everything is available via the API in real time, so it's easy for developers to build on top of it. So, and that's it.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to get notified when we do another one. There's a cool topic coming up next, which we will announce when you subscribe, so to speak. Have a good one. See you next.
Bye.